One of the most difficult situations is the situation of a natural calamity. Nobody can beat the nature. And yes, when nature shows its fullest fury, the infrastructure is destroyed, no matter how strong that it is. People are displaced, people die, animals are displaced, and animals also die. Such kind of a situation is, becoming more and more common in the times of global warming or climate change. We're talking about a particular situation in Assam, that is the Assam floods. This state, which is the largest state in terms of population and in terms of area in Northeast, has been impacted by floods. And experts are saying that this flood is unprecedented. Unprecedented because of its impact. No other flood in the past has impacted the way this flood has impacted. Now, the main reason behind the flood is the swelling up of Brahmaputra river, which is considered to be the main river of Assam. Why swelling up? Because of excess rainfall. Can we attribute this to global warming or climate change? Definitely there can be a linkage, because in global warming or climate change, the frequency and the intensity of rainfall both have changed. And it is not only Assam which has been impacted. Arunachal Pradesh, the upstream state, and Nagaland, the neighboring state of Assam, have also been impacted. Government of Assam claimed that it was a cloudburst, but this claim was denied by the upstream states of Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. All in all, what we can conclude is that it was heavy rainfall which led to this. And heavy rainfall can be connected to global warming or climate change. That is, a logical connection. Yeah, but yes, a lot of people have been displaced. A lot of people have been killed also in these floods. We have very, I would say, disturbing images coming from this particular state. And one of the image which, was there, this was the image of, a father saving his, 3 kids in a bucket. And obviously he risked his life. Fortunately, all of them were saved, even the father and these 3 kids. This is from Assam floods. Then, according to some estimates, 47 people have died. But yes, this death toll is, as of now, I would say, not so reliable. But yes, people have died. How many have died? We'll come to know with time. But yes, more than 7 lakh people have been impacted due to this. And yes, this is the fury of nature. This is the fury of nature in front of which nobody, no infrastructure can survive. Can this be avoided? I would say it cannot be completely avoided, but yes, the impact of it can be mitigated. There can be better preparedness so that the impact reduces. And see, Assam is not new to floods. Assam is impacted due to floods, or it has been impacted due to floods in the past as well. Now, what are, I would say, the factors which point towards the fact that Assam is, prone to floods? So let us look into that. But yes, before that, these floods, heavy rainfall across, the entire catchment area, that is Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland. Here also heavy rainfall is there, and here also floods are there. But yes, the most impact of these floods is in Assam. More than 7 lakh people have been affected. All these, things we've discussed. And yes, relief and rescue operations by both the state as well as the central forces are into place. The NDRF and the SDRF, NDRF, National Disaster Response Force, and State Disaster Response Force, both are responding to this crisis. Now, why Assam floods almost every year? This is, as I said, that it is not new for Assam. This is not the first time that Assam is undergoing floods. And there are multiple reasons why Assam floods every year. And the first and the most important reason is the physical geography of Assam. Why I'm talking about this is the most important factor, because the geographical location of Assam, it is plains surrounded by hills, so the rivers, they flow and they come and settle in Assam. Brahmaputra is one of the largest rivers of, I would say, this region, that is South and Central Asia, and it is heavily silted. Silted means a lot of silt comes, and when a lot of silt comes, the carrying capacity of river reduces. As a result, the river overflows and spills itself, thereby causing flooding. So the Brahmaputra river, its origin is Tibet, Yarlung Sangpo. It enters India through Arunachal Pradesh. So if I see, this is Arunachal Pradesh, just drawing it through the map, this is Arunachal Pradesh, this is Assam. So this Brahmaputra river actually flows like this through Tibet, enters into Arunachal Pradesh, and then from there into Assam, and then downstream it flows into Bangladesh. This is the route it follows. It flows through Assam and enters Bangladesh. Characteristics of this river, it is braided in nature. What is a braided river? This is how a braided river looks like. It is flowing, it gets divided into multiple channels, and in between there are sediments, there are islands formed. You might have heard Majuli Island. It is the world's biggest, or I would say it is the world's largest river island. It is in Brahmaputra river because of its braided nature. It is flowing, it gets bifurcated, trifurcated, and then comes and meets like this. So it gets divided into multiple streams and then comes and meet, then divided, comes and meet. This is what the image is highlighting. It is braided in nature. There is high sediment load, means a lot of sediments are there. In fact, it is one of the highest, sediment loaded rivers in this region. Frequent channel shifting because of its braided nature, and it has a very wide floodplain. Very wide floodplain, again, sediments are there, braided nature is there, it gets spread, and due to which frequent flooding happens in this river. Brahmaputra carries one of the world's highest sediment loads. On top of that, we are facing challenges from China's end as well. China at times releases lot of silt into India. Now when silt is coming with the river, silt reduces the water carrying capacity of the river and water spills, because silt will take some place. So that is obviously one such concerning factor from geopolitics point of view also. So this is, I would say, the route of Brahmaputra river. It is known as Yarlung Sangpo here in China, Tibet. Then it makes a U-turn and enters into Arunachal Pradesh. From here it enters into Assam and then into Meghalaya, and then Bangladesh. So this is how it goes. Okay. A portion, slightest portion of it enters or touches Meghalaya as well. Okay. So this is something which is the course of this Brahmaputra river, and it obviously is huge. It carries a lot of water. Okay. It has a huge catchment area. Catchment area means the area which is covered by the main river and the area covered by its tributaries. So main river coming from Tibet, Arunachal Pradesh, going into Assam, and then it flows into Bangladesh also. But yes, tributaries of this river come from Nagaland, Bhutan and Meghalaya as well. So the rain anywhere in this will increase water in the catchment area of Brahmaputra. Let's suppose if rain is happening in Bhutan. So from Bhutan, the tributary of this Brahmaputra river coming, carries excess water, thereby contributing excess water in Brahmaputra. Having this huge catchment area actually leads to more chances of heavy water flow in this river. So that is what you need to know and understand. So from Bhutan, from Tibet, many rivers are coming, then Assam, then Nagaland, this river joins. So multiple tributaries are there, and that is why, due to this huge catchment area, now this area is the dotted line which you are seeing is referred to as the catchment area, with multiple tributaries, distributaries and all, and this region is prone to heavy rainfall. If I talk about Meghalaya, Meghalaya is the wettest region in the world, in fact, and even in northeast India, lot of rainfall is there. So that is what we need to know and understand. Heavy monsoon rainfall, the third point which I just mentioned. Assam receives around 2000 to 3000 mm rainfall annually. Why? Because the Bay of Bengal branch of monsoon reaches Assam. Now when monsoon is there, this is India, and this is the equator. Now when the monsoon winds, they cross the equator, they turn this way and they reach our western ghats or western coast initially. This is called as the Arabian Sea branch. One of the branches, they deviate and enter India through this side. This is called as the Bay of Bengal branch. Orographic rainfall is also there. Orographic means rainfall happening through evaporation. Assam is plains, temperature is high, so evaporation happens, rainfall happens. The orographic rainfall is also contributing. Bay of Bengal branch is also contributing. Moisture laden winds, they are getting accumulated over Assam, thereby causing more rainfall. And western disturbances. Western disturbances happen during winter months, but yes, they come from this side. They bring rainfall, they capture moisture from the Mediterranean Sea, and they come from this side, and very less contribution of western disturbances is there in the rainfall in Assam. But yes, since we are talking about factors causing rainfall in Assam, so definitely this should be considered. As of now, in this flood, this particular factor, western disturbances, is not a contributing factor, because this is mainly applicable in the winter months in India. So as of now, no winter months are there. Monsoon season is going on. The gradient. In Arunachal's, river flows rapidly whenever it enters Arunachal Pradesh. But from Arunachal Pradesh, when it enters Assam, the gradient decreases. Gradient is this slope gradient, right? So this is Arunachal Pradesh. So when the river enters Arunachal Pradesh, the gradient is steep, but when it enters Assam, it slows down. The gradient drops, means the slope drops, as Assam is plain. So river slows, sediment deposition increases, and when sediment deposition increases, the river bed rises. River bed rising means water carrying capacity of the river reduces, hence flood risk rises. So gradient is also a contributing factor. So till now we've seen 4 major factors why Assam is prone to flooding almost every year. This year was not new, but yes, in the past few years we've seen that climate change or other environmental factors have exacerbated the impact of floods. They have increased the intensity of floods. That is concerning. Now, why have floods become worse? The first factor is climate change, because climate change leads to unpredictable rainfall. unpredictable rain patterns, frequency as well as intensity, both have increased. Deforestation. Deforestation leads to sand erosion, or I would say soil erosion. Because when forest is there, the trees hold the soil. But when deforestation happens, the soil is not held. Rainfall happens, rainfall takes the soil and sediments along with it in the rivers, thereby depositing it in the rivers, raising the river bed, reducing the water carrying capacity of the river, thereby causing floods. Encroachment. Human settlements, they have encroached, and those areas where actually encroachment should not happen, encroachment has happened, and therefore floods impact them. Wetlands destruction. Wetlands act like sponge. They take the excess water, but they should be healthy. If they are destroyed, then they will stop acting like sponges. Then river bank erosion. The river banks, they have been eroded. So outflow of river happens, quite frequently. And last is sand mining. Sand mining is obviously a factor where the sand is mined from the banks of the river, which leads to overflow of river in that region, impacting the people living over there. And more or less all these factors which you are seeing on the board are anthropogenic factors, means human factors, human induced factors, which obviously should be taken care of because they increase the impact of the flood. Now, talking about the impact of this particular flood, social impact if I talk about, तो देखो, sanitation has suffered, education has suffered, and I was reading about a news piece where children were drying their wet books in the open, and the government of Assam has assured them of issuing new set of books to everyone. This is obviously a good move by the Assam government, but yes, taking care of such small things for the students is commendable. Pressure on healthcare setup has increased because there will be more people falling ill due to waterborne diseases, and all these kind of things will happen. Economic impact, agricultural productivity, industries, all are impacted. Environmental impact, wildlife, we have many national parks or conserved areas or protected areas in Assam like Kaziranga National Park, Dipor Beel and such like, and these areas definitely are impacted or can be impacted. So loss of wildlife, loss of trees, loss of human life, that is quite, I would say, commonsensical. So this is the impact, overall impact of this flood. But what steps are being taken? Obviously, relief and rescue is the first and primary step which has to be taken. Then rehabilitating the impacted, that should be the second. Then providing central financial support for bringing back on track the lives of the people who have been impacted. That should be the modus operandi, and the governments both at the central level and at the state level are working in this direction. So deploying of disaster teams, rescuing and rehabilitating the affected, and providing central financial support becomes important. Rescue and relief operations are being undertaken by NDRF, SDRF, and armed forces. Armed forces like Assam Rifles and Indian Army also has been called upon. ITBP has also been called upon. So yes, things are happening. Distributing clothes and essentials to over 4 lakh women and children in impacted areas like Sivasagar, Charaidio, Jorhat, and Golaghat. These are the 4 major districts which have been impacted by these floods. Providing fresh sets of free textbooks to the state textbook corporation for students whose books have been impacted. As I said, that this is a very noble step undertaken by the government of Assam. Financial support of 1000 crore rupees in sanctioned for Assam by the central government. So central government is doing it. Then mobilizing whole of a government approach. Now this is something which the government of Assam is doing. Whole of a government approach means administrative officials will be there, the doctors will be there, then relief and rescue operation teams will be there, teachers will be there. This is whole of a government approach, that all the government departments, Department of Agriculture will be there to restore the destroyed land. So this whole of a government approach definitely will fast track the coming back on track the lives of the people of Assam. Deploying an interministerial central team to assess damages and strategize long-term rehabilitation in Assam. So a group of ministers, central ministers to be specific, are also deployed for this purpose. This has also been formed. But yes, there should be long-term solutions, because see, we have known that Assam is prone to floods. But yes, there should be some solutions so that these impacts can be minimized. The first is structural infrastructure and river management. Construction of embankments along the river. That is obviously not, I would say, such a solution that will stop the floods, but yes, that can reduce the impact of floods. The Brahmaputra master plan, it is under implementation, which includes awareing or making the people aware, construction of embankments, then avoiding and restricting sand mining in the riverbank regions. All these are there in this master plan. Anti-erosion and pro-siltation works. Soil erosion should be stopped, and siltation means silt should be taken out from the rivers frequently so that the water carrying capacity is intact of this river. Then urban flood mitigation in urban areas like Guwahati, drainage cleaning, making the people aware, then making flood water drains separately in the cities. That is what urban flood mitigation looks like. And yes, the urban areas are also prone to such kind of floods. Nature based storage enhancement like wetlands revival, because wetlands act like natural sponges to such kind of flood situations. It can absorb or take in a lot of water, thereby reducing the impact of it in the civilian areas. Applying advanced early warning systems. These are technological interventions which have to be undertaken, so that when floods are coming, early warning systems are there to give us early warnings so that we can evacuate the people and reduce the impact on their lives. So these are the long-term solutions which Assam should be working towards, and I hope it will work towards, because the government in its manifesto promised that Assam will be flood free. But as of now, we don't see Assam getting flood free. It should get flood free. Let's all pray for Assam and pray for the speedy recovery of Assam. Any of you watching this video wants to donate to Assam, so the details are here. You can donate to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund for Assam, and that amount definitely will go directly to the Chief Minister's Fund and will be utilized over there. You can take a screenshot of this particular screen, and if you wish, you can donate on this account. So let's hope and pray that life comes back to normal as soon as possible. With this, we've come to an end of this video. I will be now meeting you for other set of videos. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.